The rain hammered the glass like it was trying to break in. Elias Crow stood frozen in his penthouse, staring at the phone in his trembling hand. The screen glowed with a single line, "Tonight, you remember Jonah Vale." His reflection in the window looked like a ghost already. He didn't know it yet, but the man who'd buried my brother's truth was about to be buried himself, by gravity, by conscience, and by me. If you've ever watched someone powerful crush the people you love and walk away laughing. If you've ever clenched your fists wishing for the day they finally feel what they dished out. Then stay right here. Smash that like button if justice still means something to you, subscribe so you never miss a story like this, and let's get into the most satisfying revenge I've ever told. My name is Caleb Vale. 3 years ago, I still believed the world was fair if you just worked hard enough. My older brother Jonah believed it too. He was the smart one, brilliant coder, loyal to a fault. He worked for Elias Crow's tech empire, a man who built a $4 billion company on promises of disruptive innovation and transparency. Jonah believed in that promise. Until he found the lie. Jonah discovered Elias was cooking the books, falsifying user data to inflate stock prices, hiding massive security breaches, siphoning funds into offshore accounts. He did the right thing. He gathered proof. He went to Elias privately first, hoping the men he respected would do the right thing. Elias laughed in his face. "Talent like yours is replaceable, Jonah," he said. "Loyalty isn't. Choose wisely." Jonah didn't choose wisely. He chose honor. He tried to go public. Within days, files vanished from his laptop. Emails disappeared from servers. Witnesses recanted. A whistleblower complaint turned into an embezzlement charge. The evidence against Jonah was airtight, because Elias made it that way. In court, Elias sat on the stand, calm and charismatic, swearing Jonah had tried to blackmail him. The judge, later revealed to have received a suspiciously timed donation to his re-election fund, sentenced my brother to 8 years. Jonah lasted 6 months inside. They called it suicide. A bedsheet. A quiet cell block. No note. No investigation. I remember the call. The correctional officer's voice was flat, like he was reading a weather report. Inmate Vale was found unresponsive. I dropped the phone. My knees hit the kitchen floor. I screamed until my throat bled. Then I went quiet. Not the peaceful kind of quiet. The kind that builds pressure, like a fault line ready to crack the earth. I sold everything I owned. I left the city. I buried Caleb Vale and became someone else, someone who learned how systems really work. I studied dark web forums, ethical hacking courses that weren't ethical at all, social engineering, physical penetration. I learned how cameras loop, how badges clone, how fear can be coded into a man's brain one anonymous message at a time. For 3 years I watched Elias from the shadows. He got richer. He bought a new yacht. He gave TED Talks about overcoming adversity. Every time I saw his face on a screen, my chest burned like someone had poured acid into my lungs. I'd clench my fists until my nails drew blood. I'd whisper to the empty room, "You don't get to forget him. You don't get to move on." I started small. A text to his private number at 3 a.m., "You don't remember Jonah Vale." But I do. A photo of Jonah's mugshot on his lock screen when he woke up. A looping voicemail of Jonah's voice from an old recording, "I trusted you, Elias." He changed numbers. He upgraded security. He hired more guards. It didn't matter. Every time he thought he'd plugged the leak, another drop came through. By the time I was ready, Elias was unraveling. He'd fire people for looking at him wrong. He'd cancel meetings because he swore someone was watching. He slept with the lights on. The night it ended was stormy, perfect cover. I cloned a maintenance badge, looped the cameras on the service floors, rerouted an emergency call to pull his security detail across town. I walked into his building like I belonged there. My heart hammered so hard I could taste metal in my mouth. But my hands were steady. The penthouse doors opened silently. Elias spun around, whiskey glass in hand. His eyes widened when he saw me, someone he'd never met, yet somehow recognized. "Who the hell are you?" he barked, voice cracking on the last word. I stepped into the light. "I'm the brother you forgot existed." I laid it all out. Slowly. Every detail he'd tried to erase. The doctored logs. The paid-off witnesses. The letters Jonah wrote from prison begging for someone, anyone, to listen. Letters that never reached the outside. Elias backed up until his spine hit the glass. Rain streaked the window behind him like tears the city wouldn't cry for him. "You can't prove anything," he whispered. I lifted my phone. "I don't need to prove it. I just need the world to hear it." I hit play. His own voice filled the room, recorded weeks earlier from a bug I'd planted in his office. Elias confessing everything. Names. Dates. Dollar amounts. The stream was already live, sent to every major newsroom, every regulator, every shareholder who'd ever believed his lies. His face crumpled. Not anger. Not fear at first. Disbelief. The kind that comes when the invincible mask finally shatters. Then the panic hit. He lunged at me, wild, desperate. His foot slipped on the wet marble, rain had leaked through a cracked seal. One scream, sharp, animal, cut off as his body hit the glass. It spiderwebbed. Then gave way. I didn't push him. I didn't need to. He fell. 32 stories of glass and steel and arrogance, plummeting into the dark. I stood there for a second, wind howling through the broken window. My ears rang. My chest felt light. Like I'd been carrying a boulder for 3 years and someone finally lifted it off. Sirens rose in the distance. My phone buzzed nonstop, stock tickers crashing, headlines exploding, accounts freezing. I walked out the way I came. No fingerprints. No face on camera. Just another shadow in a city full of them. Elias didn't die instantly. The fall report said he was conscious for most of it. Conscious and screaming. I like to think in those last seconds he saw Jonah's face in the rain. I like to think he finally understood what it felt like to be powerless. To be erased. For the first time in 3 years, I slept through the night. Revenge isn't about blood on your hands. It's about making sure the truth outlives the lie. It's about giving the person who took everything from you the one thing they fear most, accountability. Sometimes justice wears a mask. Sometimes it whispers in the dark. But when it finally speaks. If this story hit you in the chest the way it still hits me, smash that like button right now. Drop a comment. What's the most infuriating injustice you've ever witnessed? And if you want more stories where the powerful finally fall, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. I'll see you in the next one.